Hi, I'm Kira. Last weekend, I did my first sprint triathlon. I competed at the Blenheim Palace Triathlon and managed to finish it without dying. So, positives. I also didn't come last, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I was very happy with that. The only thing is, I went into this triathlon not wanting to do it. I hadn't trained, I can barely run, and I only did it because my dad wanted to. And he wanted to do one before he was 60. So I said, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of open water swimming, and I really don't like running, to be honest. So it was all a bit like, it sounded good at the time when I signed up, and then on the day, I really regret that decision. Until I was in the middle of it. And when you're doing it, you kind of forget your hatred of lakes and hating running, and everything kind of goes away, and you're in the moment and you're enjoying it, and you're surrounded by hundreds of other people who are all there. Some have been training for months, some have kit that costs hundreds of thousands of pounds, but yet there were still people out there that clearly hadn't trained like me, and there was people on the bikes, and they were on like little old mountain bikes. And it just makes you think, like, everyone's here for the same reason. Everyone wants to do the triathlon. And I found myself regretting not training. I wanted to perform. I wanted to do well. And obviously, I'm not going to do well if I haven't trained. So that made me think, what if we went again next year? I went back to Blenheim. But this time, I've worked for it. And I'll either do the sprint, or if I can convince my friends to do it with me, maybe even the weekend warrior. But that's going to be a lot of hard work and effort to get to, and that's something I'm not always willing to put in, but I feel like documenting it really holds you accountable, and hopefully so will my friends, if I can persuade them. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about my first triathlon. So at Blenheim Palace, you start out in the lake, which was a lot shallower than expected. It took me a minute to catch my breath. I always struggle with cold water. I am asthmatic, and my main sort of triggers are like hay fever and cold water, and obviously like exercise and stuff. But the cold really gets to my chest, so I found that really hard. But I went into it thinking, it doesn't matter how well I do, as long as I cross that finish line. So I took that time. I was in the water, and I sat there and I treaded water for a little bit. Just took the time to catch my breath, which made the rest of the swim so much more enjoyable. And then you start swimming past people, and it's shallower than you expect. And to be honest, it was actually warmer than I thought it would be once you get moving. And the swim was over before you knew it. And then you face the dreaded carpet. It's at Blenheim. It's an uphill run of about 400 metres to the transition, on carpet that doesn't really protect you much from the gravel. It's like all triathlons. They're going to put carpet down, but realistically, it's not going to help you much. So I decided I wasn't going to run it, because I was like, I just want to finish. So I had a nice little walk. My dad came out the swim behind me, ran past me. I was like, oh, well, that's me beating him out the window. Hey, doesn't matter. Got onto my bike and went out, and it was raining. And it was hill after hill after hill. And there's people going past you, and me going past other people. But you get people cycling past you on those hills where you're really struggling, that are just going, go on, keep going. And there was a group of people at the top of one of the hills that were supporters, and they were just screaming for every single person that cycled past. And sometimes it's those people that keep you going on those hard hills. And yeah, it was only a 20k bike. Nothing like a long distance triathlon like an Ironman or anything like that. But it still felt tough. And those people really push you and motivate you to keep going. And then I hit the run. And my dad was coming round. So the run is a 2-lap run. My dad was coming round after his first lap, and I caught him as I was going out for mine. So he was starting his second lap. And we ran that lap together, and that was nice. And it was like, oh, this is kind of like what I'm here for. And before that, I was so happy. I hadn't been lapped on a bike by my dad or my brother. They hadn't caught me up. And I was like, wow, I might be doing better than I thought. And yeah, that lap on the run was really nice. Like, it was a time to kind of, we just had a chat and just got round it. And yeah, crossed the line. I got my medal. I got my t-shirt, which is somewhere in the clothes that need to be put away behind me. And it did make me really think, I want to do this again. But next time, I want to enjoy it more. Because even though I enjoyed it this time, it was still painful, it was still tough. And I feel like if I put the work and the effort in, I'll enjoy it more. And it will feel like that victory lap that everyone says, like, your race is your victory lap. You've put in all the hard work to get to this point. And I want that victory lap. I want to run across that line and be like, wow, I deserve that medal. I've trained hard for this, and that this day has come. So let's go from here, and we will follow along with these little videos, little documentary style. And this time next year, hopefully I'll be giving a debrief on my second Blenheim Palace Triathlon, or others. I might do other races as well, and there are other races you can do. But yeah, let's see how the next year goes.